Hello, everyone. Welcome to Off the Charts, episode 212. Once again, I've got the Kansas connection here with me. So we'll have another great episode of our favorite debut albums. So let's see if we can get this right here. Below me, from New Zealand, Mr. Steve. How's it going?
Hey, how you going, Dan?
All right. Now, if I go like this, that means Keith from New Zealand will also be right there, right? We'll see when this
Hey
is
guys,
filming.
hey everyone.
And Kevin, I haven't mastered this party yet. Kevin from the US, from Sonic Boom.
Hello.
Everybody doing good today?
Yes.
Yeah, very
So I
good.
think Kevin and I are experiencing some cold and almost a foot of snow. While
Well, I'm not getting a foot of snow, but cold, yes.
yeah, cold for you, the foot of snow for me, and below, yeah, I could see the sunshine coming out of
Yeah,
Keith's window,
Yeah.
and even the ray of sunshine from Steve's.
get shoveling,
Yeah, it's
boys.
been getting quite hot and warm and sunny, and yeah, it's been good. Good summer weather.
Good. I'm really happy for you.
Yeah. Well, you can do that to us in 6 months' time. When
Yeah,
we're
I'll see you in
like,
6 months.
Payback.
yeah.
All right. Okay, so Rock and Metal Invasion, Attack from Down Under, and Sonic Boom TV. I will write their channels down in the description again. Before we start off, if you like this type of content, please like and subscribe. Same goes with my friends' channels here. Check out their channels. And in the future, I keep saying this at the end, but today I'm going to say it at the beginning. If there's a topic that you would like us to tackle, please write it in the comments. So, today we will be doing our favorite debut albums. Now, is it the best album in the discography? Maybe, maybe not. Is it? I think we decided what EPs. If they had an EP before, this also would qualify as a first full length album by the band. No duds, I guess, in the songs, close to perfection. This was actually very difficult for me. How about you guys?
I could have done a lot.
Yeah.
My standards aren't as strict as some other people, I think.
Yeah, mine. This one's actually I went maybe too strict. That's whatever. So
It's tricky when you say perfect. I find that a bit tricky sometimes because I can like some albums more than others that might have a couple of dud, tracks I don't like, but the rest are just incredible. While you can have another album which is solid, every track's good, but not necessarily. Do you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
as much of a great album as the one that had these amazing songs, and maybe a couple of like filler ones that weren't so great. So, so for me it was kind of okay. If you're kind of looking for at least everything's at least good, then that's what I went with. So
right.
yeah.
And you, Keith?
Yeah, I just some immediately came to mind, but then when I reviewed them, I thought it doesn't really fit in with it. So I tried to just get as close to the spec as I could, and yeah, there are a couple I think fit this quite well that I thought of. So
Perfect. Well then, Mr. Keith, why don't you start us off with your
okay
pick?
then. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. One of the best inspirational matchups, I think, in music history. So this is what you might call a rock supergroup. I'm talking about Audioslave's debut album, self-titled, came out in 2002. I don't know whose idea it was, but it was a fantastic idea to match Chris Cornell, got one of the best voices around at the time, with the whole Rage Against the Machine rhythm section. I think it was actually Rick Rubin did, and Chris Cornell, I think, was on his second solo album. He just decided to make it he was asked to do it, and I think he just decided to just create this new band.
Yeah.
What do you say? But what a great idea! I think, you know, you got Tom Morello, you've got Tim Comerfield and Brad Wilk from Rage Against the Machine, and you got one of the best voices around at the time. So Zach LaRocha left Rage with the usual comment, communication difficulties, you know. So I don't really know what that was all about, but anyway, the chemistry with these guys was pretty apparent straight away, apparently. And if you're talking about like the album with great songs, like right off the bat, the first 5 songs I think are just really good. You got Cochise, then Show Me How to Live, not 2 great songs, then straight into Gasoline. They're all rockers and they all sound fantastic. And then my favorite is What You Are, and then even the 5th song, Like a Stone, is a great song on here.
I do remember that video for Cochise.
Yeah,
was brilliant how they introduced the singer to that. You know, when they're going up that elevator, and then it's just the 3 Rage Against the Machine guys, and I guess the Chris Cornell's waiting for them at the top. I was like, what is this? Like, what's going on here? That was my first time.
Fireworks and
Brilliant video, like how to introduce the Rage Against guys to Chris Cornell. Good choice.
I don't remember that video. I don't.
It's actually pretty cool. Just
I have to look it up.
It's just them, the 3 Rage Against the Machine guys, coming up an elevator, and it's the song starting, and it's just, and then I'm not gonna spoil it. Check it out. It's actually pretty. It's cool. It's a very cool reveal of the singer. Let me put it that way.
It's not as good as Steve's Bonfire Fireworks and his episode for that bonfire. No, but they still made a reasonable attempt at it, you know. But I don't think they had Steve.
Yeah.
So yeah, for me, this is the most successful out of the 3, and this is the one I like the best, and I think it's sold the most as well.
How many albums do they have?
3.
3. I thought they had 2. Okay.
Yeah. But I find the others just a little bit wishy-washy. There's some good rocking tracks on them, but the rest I don't like. Is that one, like I said, with the boom, 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 5 songs at the front. And, yeah.
Cool. Good choice. All right, Mr. Kevin, what do you got?
All right. Well, I did this kind of the same thing where I just took the first 3 that I immediately thought of. But I decided that I would do all vinyl, so I had to get rid of one of those and pick a different one. Well, as you saw, Dan, on Thursday, I won one of those on Whatnot. So if we did this a week later, this whole thing would be different. But anyway, so my first one, anyway, I'm going to go with Skid Row. This was Steve smiling. He might have picked this one. This one was like, to me, perfect because it was a little bit different than the regular glam metal, I guess, that was going on. It's a little bit heavier, but it fit in with all those bands anyway. I think their first tour was with Bon Jovi, and then they kind of became bigger than Bon Jovi.
Aerosmith also. My friend here in Ottawa was Aerosmith.
Yeah.
Pump. Yeah, the Pump tour.
And, you know, I kind of go back and forth whether this one is better than the second one or not, but I find both of the first 2 albums perfect. So for this band, after that, it kind of, you know, tapered off a little bit for me, but this one definitely my favorite. You know, even the ballad is a little bit heavier than normal ballads that were going on at the time, you know. But perfect. This is on a silver vinyl, by the way, and it costs way too much money.
Yeah.
And there's no liner notes or anything. It's just the cover and the record. That's it.
I got the box set, so I got like.
Yeah, so did I. Yeah.
Did you?
Which was worth it, actually. It's pricey, but worth it.
Well, I think this was like $45.
Yeah.
That I paid for this, and
I think until the box set came up, that was a lot of money to try and get that album. It was quite pricey, and then the box sets come out, so yeah, it's probably dropped in value maybe a little bit after that, but yeah, it wasn't easy to get. And then of course, the one after that, not easy to get on vinyl either.
Even worse. It gets worse and worse. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, yeah, and even that third one you could get on vinyl. That was just like huge money. But now, like Dan, the box set, you got the first 3 albums, then you got like an EP as well. So it was pretty good. Although Subhuman Race is, I don't know, I'm sort of struggling to get into that one. But yeah.
Well, Slave to the Grind, I could have got it. It was like $50, and I didn't have $50, so I said I'm gonna come back next time and get it. And I wanted it because they combined both versions of Slave to the Grind into one record. They put the different songs, and I think they had a few extra songs as well.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't there the next time I went, and then it was over $100 when I saw it again. And I was
That's
like,
why I got the box set. That's why I got the box set. It was like
right.
It was cheaper because I had nothing of Skid Row. So
Right.
well, physical. I had them digitally there, but good choice.
And I just got their newest.
Yeah, I saw that. It's a good
It was
one
actually
too.
pretty good.
It's a good one. I like it.
Yeah, the singer sounds too much like Sebastian Bach, but I guess that works.
Yeah. Good one.
One thing I'll say about Skid Row, I've just been sort of going back and having a listen to the album Thick Skin, and that's actually I really like that album. So just putting that out there. I know it's not a favorite, but
No, here in Canada, it is. A lot of people are like,
yeah, I really like
it's
that.
actually very good thick skin that people are saying here in my friend circle of friends.
Yeah, that was good. Good album.
Well, now that you're talking, why don't you give us your choice, my friend?
Sure. Yeah. Okay. So I thought I'd be a little bit different because I'm rock and metal invasion. People are probably expecting some sort of hair metal or something like that, but no. I'm gonna go somewhere different today, and I'm actually going to go back to 1978. And I know that this is an artist that some people who like hard rock or heavy metal, they do sometimes say, I like this particular artist because and it's. This person's probably more in the pop rock area, but a little alternative. So this is the debut album from Kate Bush, and The Kick Inside is the debut album.
Wow.
It came, yeah.
Talk
Not
about
expecting
different,
that.
yeah?
But this came out in 1978, and like for me, it's a bit of a childhood memory album as well. So growing up, my mum would play it quite a bit, and I'd hear it, and I don't even know if I thought too much of it at the time. Wasn't really into music that much, but I'd always sort of hear it, and then once I got into music and started revisiting things that I did hear in my childhood, this one's really stood out, and so it brings back a lot of memories in that sense. But it's just like, she's just got an amazing voice. I think the songs, every song on this album is good, at least good. But just, I just really love it. And in fact, I've got all her albums on vinyl up until, I think, The Red Shoes. I don't think I've got that one. But just really a great talent. She writes all the songs. So she's only like 20, I think, when this comes out. Just amazing. And she's a real true artist, I think. Like her videos, she's like doing this like performance art type thing, dancing, and just really interesting. Her songs are very unique. But yeah, and like I say, I've heard other people who are like hardcore metalheads go, oh yeah, but Kate Bush, when I want something a bit more chilled out, then they'll go for Kate Bush. So that's my pick.
Interesting. I can't say if it's good or bad. I've never heard that.
Yeah.
I only know the hits.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's right.
About her.
Running Up That Hill has recently became popular again for some TV show, right? So that was a bit of a hit, that one she did with Peter Gabriel. That's probably her biggest hit. Wuthering Heights, the title track, I think might have been a hit. But I mean, she's not like one of those sort of pop artist, who's like just having hits with singles. It's more album, it's album sort of related. But yeah.
Cool.
That's it.
Were you saying something, Kevin?
I said interesting.
Okay. I saw your lips move, but I'm like, I didn't hear anything. All right. Well, and then I'm going to go with mine. Mine's even older than Steve's. I'm going to go with 1973. To me, this is like one of those perfect hard rock albums. So I'm going to go with the first Montrose. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this band.
Oh, yeah.
Ronnie Montrose, Sammy Hagar right here, Bill Church on bass, and Denny Carmassi on drums, who's done a lot of stuff also. But I discovered these guys by hearing covers of their songs, and these guys have been covered like a ridiculous amount. Like, where are the names of the songs here?
Was it Rock Candy by Bullet Boys that you heard?
That was one of them. The
Yeah.
other one was Space Station Number 5 by Iron Maiden on a B-side. And what's the other one there? Make It Last by Tesla. Mind you, I knew that one already, but back in the Bullet Boys, I was like, Rock Candy. Well, even Lee Aaron did that one too. Not as good as the Bullet Boys version, if you ask me there. But yeah, this one just rocks from A to Z. And plus the songs that weren't covered are just like friggin' amazing here. Like this, no ballads. This is just one rock album from A to Z. 8 songs, no duds. And this was, mind you, it all went downhill after that with this band.
Yeah.
If you ask my opinion there, I don't know. Well, Paper Money's okay, but then after that just goes, Sammy Hagar left to do a solo career. But I have all the Montrose albums. There's nothing that beats this classic one right here. So I'm going to go with Montrose, the first album here. To me, perfect album right here. And their first one, obviously. There you go.
I think there was some talk after that first album and people were listening to it that was going to be like a American version of Led Zeppelin, and even the band members thought this is really going in a really good direction. The songs I heard from that was, I had a Sammy Hagar compilation, and it had some of the Montrose songs, but it had some of his songs mixed in. So I used to get the two mixed up. I wasn't sure who did what, but I know that Space Station
That's
song
got Bad
about,
Motors.
that was on there.
That too.
Yeah, Bad Motors. Yeah.
Oh, it's like chock full of like songs. You're like, oh my god, I've heard that before. I've heard that. Like 4 or 5 songs out of the 8 for sure people have heard being covered by or redone by other bands there. So yeah,
I agree that's their best album, and if they've just continued in that sort of direction, I think it would have been.
It was one of the templates too. They said, well, it's Ted Templeman, right? I believe that produced this. So yeah, one of the templates for early Van Halen too.
I mean, I think until Van Halen came out, that was considered maybe one of the best hard rock debut albums of all time. And then Van Halen came out, and maybe that took the title. But it's interesting, they're both produced by Ted Templeman, and of course you got the Sammy Hagar Van Halen connection there as well. So, but
and it has
aged
very well.
Well. I've just started getting into listening to a bit of Gamma. Montrose was
not as heavy.
Yeah, not as heavy, but especially the first couple Gamma albums. Actually,
the first 2 are good. Yeah. Great.
They're good.
All right, now we got through one round. Keith, why don't you start us off with round 2? No matches, by the way.
Not yet. I think I've got one that I could kill one of Dan's, but I think I've got one pick that could kill one of yours, knock one of yours off, but I'll be nice. I'll save it.
There you
go. So my next one is the Bush debut.
Yeah, that's not one of mine.
No, I didn't think so. So this is 16 Stone, came out in 19 94. This is an English rock band formed in London in 1992. So the singer is, oh, there we go. There we go.
Yeah, I've got it. It's not one of my choices, but I've got it. Yeah.
Oh, okay then. So Gavin Rossdale. It's a multi-platinum album, this one. And they're actually more popular in the US than back at the home UK with this one. So when this came out, I was doing, I think, fruit picking, and I used to drive these guys out to work, and we'd play this on cassette, going out there and coming back, and I just played it over and over again and loved this album. So it's one that really brings me back to those times when we were just young guys, and I was sharing with a bunch of blokes, and we were just having a good single bachelor life. So I do like this album. If you watch the movie of Woodstock, if anyone watched that, they did a performance, Bush, in I think 99, and they did a really good performance there and just calmed things down, because if you watch the movie, things just went from bad to worse from that. But they did a really good performance back then. So the singles I like on here would be Glycerine. What's the other one? Come Down. And I actually like the whole album. More or less.
Everything's Zen. Do you like that one?
Everything's Zen. Yeah, I was just going to say. Yeah, I do.
That's a good one.
I can listen to the whole thing back to front, and I was happy when this came back out on vinyl.
Yeah.
So their sound is like characterized by like a lot of guitar distortion type thing, and there are quiet parts, but they had a lot of comparisons to Nirvana as well. So I don't mind their next album. Was it Razorblade Suitcase or something? But for me, this is my favorite, their debut album, and my second choice there.
Yeah, they kind of went downhill for me too after Razorblade Suitcase. They did an album that was like it was weird. It was like techno almost kind of stuff. I don't know what was going on. It had a black cover with like a cross or something on it.
They did They did Deconstructed, which is like a remix album. Yeah,
I did not like that at all.
Yeah, I was going to mention it to Keith.
I need to probably investigate some more of their latest stuff. So I'm sure there'd be a good album in there somewhere. But there's so much.
This is good. This is good, Keith.
Okay.
This is not their latest one. It's the one before their latest one. It's really good. It's really good. It's quite actually.
I have to grab that
quite
one.
hard. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's, Dan's like, who the?
I know
this
this
is turning
band.
into the grunge show.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm glad you guys love it. I effing hate Glycerine and that band. And yeah, I have no comment. My sister got free tickets one time to go see that band, and she hated it, but not because of the music, but because her friends went there only because of the singer was apparently hot, and they're all with binoculars. Oh my God, look at his butt. And I was like, okay, this is it. But Glycerine, I really do not like that song.
Yeah, he was famous for being hot. I remember that.
And he married Gwen. He married Gwen from No Doubt, the band No Doubt. Well, they were married. They're not married anymore.
All right. Well, I can't tell you if that's a good choice or bad, Keith. I don't own that one. I probably never will. But you're allowed.
All right. Next.
All right, Mr. Kevin.
Well, keeping with the 90s alternative rock theme, this is one of my favorites. Kind of nerdy, but everybody knows Weezer, right?
I had that at one time.
This one I got a couple years ago. It's a Target, I guess, exclusive blue vinyl. I don't know. It was really cheap when I bought it, and then all of a sudden it was not cheap anymore, even though they still have them, different colors, I guess. But this blue color, for some reason, went up in value. But this one, it's I never forget the first time that song, the sweater song, Undone, the sweater song, came on the radio. Super nerdy song, and I was in a van full of people, and everybody's looking at themselves like, "What the hell is this?" And I'm like, "This is the greatest song ever." And so, but no, I like every song on this. There was a lot of hits on this. They had "My Name Is Jonas," "The World Has Turned and Left Me Here." Buddy Holly was huge. The video for that is great.
Great video.
But the one song that is probably my favorite Weezer song that wasn't a hit was "In the Garage," and it's just the song about him going back to his garage where all his stuff is, where he's got his Dungeons and Dragons and his Kiss posters and everything else, and it's just a great song, and it's always been one of my favorites. Their first two albums that they did, I think, are like classics, and then after that, they kind of found out that they were going to be pop stars, and didn't do as good for me. But I have most of their albums.
Beverly Hills was a good video.
That was a good one. Yeah.
Or Hash
That
Pipe.
was on the third album.
Hash
Hash
Pipe's a good
Pipe?
one, man.
Hash Pipe. Yeah. Yeah.
What's that on? That's on Pinkerton, I think. Yeah.
No, that's on the one after that.
Is it? No.
Yeah.
But I'll say good choice. I did own that album just because I bought it because of Buddy Holly at the time.
All right.
Sold it about a month later. Sold it back about a month later there. I think I told you about it. It was like Weezer, Offspring, and Green Day. Yeah. All Kev's favorite bands.
You hurt me so bad sometimes. I just don't understand you.
Sorry. All right. Mr. Steve.
All right, carrying on with the alternative 90s rock because I know Dad's loving it. I'm now going to go with, and this actually links quite well with what Keith was talking about. So I'm going with Rage Against the Machine and the debut from them. So I was actually a little bit, when this first came out, I was like, oh, rap, like rap metal or whatever. It was sort of, I heard it was a bit like that. And I was like, I don't know if that's really what I want to listen to. But then actually, once I heard the songs, of course, Killing in the Name, such a classic. But talking about, almost a perfect album. Like, there's no tracks on here I don't like listening to. The guitar work's just like very unique, very original. And I was listening to an interview Tom Morello did. I don't know when it was or what I was watching, but basically he was talking about how he came up with, some of the sounds on this record, because it's basically through experimentation. It's like, well, what if I start doing this, or I start making these little changes? Like just thinking outside the box, basically, what you can do with an electric guitar. And also, they really liked Public Enemy. So, a hip hop rap group. And they thought, well, how can we get those kind of sounds with a rock group? And so that's kind of what they were going for as well. And the singer, Zach, is, ferocious. He's such a powerful vocalist. He's kind of a mix of rap and sort of hardcore vocals, because he was previously in a hardcore band before this one. So just and I remember too, lyrically, some of the things that they they sing about are quite meaningful and actually got me interested. I'm not really a big lyrics guy, but it's like, well, I know that they were trying to put out a message, and it got me thinking about some of the messages that they had, as opposed to previous albums that I listened to were just about partying, drinking, and having sex. This was actually a lot different. Like all the hair metal stuff. This is like, this is a bit more something a little bit
very political. That band.
Yeah, very political. That's right, very political. So it got me thinking about things I hadn't thought of before. So and even now it's like it's a great album. Still, I don't think it's dated at all. A lot of that rap metal stuff, you can listen to it now and it's like, man, it doesn't age so good, but this still sounds great. This is, for me, easily their best album. I think they did 3 albums, only 3. They've got that one. They've got another album which is like a covers album. So I guess you could say they've got 4. But yeah, the follow up for me, Evil Empire, was nowhere near as good.
Empire, then Guerrillas Radio, something like that.
Yeah, that was
I was thinking.
yeah, third album's I think a bit better, but nothing never got back to the quality of this first one. Yeah, really good. And of course they reformed just basically just as a touring band. It seemed I saw them in concert when they got back together at the big day out in Auckland. And they're huge at this point, you know, like they're massive band. They were the headline act, I think. And they just recently announced that they're breaking up again. But
I was just gonna tell you. I was like,
I was going to say that.
and you know, people were making a big deal. It's like, I don't really. I mean, who cares? They weren't going to do a studio album, I don't think, again anyway. So, I mean, yeah, yeah. So, and of course, you know, they when they split up, they basically, as Keith mentioned, they hooked up with Chris Cornell, and you know, and did Audio Slave, and yeah, so that was great as well, but different, but good. So I don't know, maybe the Rage Against the Machine guys need to find another vocalist, but
Yeah.
They're
I
out
have
of work.
stories about them.
What's
I'll
that?
have to tell
Yeah.
them I said I have stories about them, but we'll have to tell that another time because it'll take too long.
But I do like Rage Against the Machine, believe it or not.
yeah,
That rhythmically and musically, I love the bass. I play bass there, so
yeah,
bass
yeah.
guy, I love his style of playing there with the and then with the drummer and the guitar too. There, those three. I like Rage Against the Machine, no problem.
It's,
Thought I
it's
was
quite
gonna
different.
hate
It's
it, but I
bright, isn't
don't.
it? It's quite different.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, I have the exact same copy of that album as you got there, with the little
This
gold
one?
It's a
silver, with the silver sticker with that 2X.
Yeah, it's actually the 20th anniversary vinyl
Yeah.
edition. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think it might have originally been released on vinyl, but like again, it's like one of those ones because it's 92 would have been super expensive. So I never had it on vinyl until it got reissued.
Yeah, that's the same thing with me.
Yeah.
wow, all right.
It's a really good debut, but my favorite would have to be Battle for Los Angeles. I really like that.
Oh
one.
yeah, yeah.
That's
Yeah,
probably my
that's-
favorite.
That's what I meant.
That-
Not Guerrilla Radio. Battle for Los Angeles is the name of the album.
Yeah.
Yeah. My
It's like
bad.
I can
Gorillas
listen-
on the
I can
Radio,
listen
it's
to-
one of the songs.
Yeah, Guerrilla Radio was a song. Yeah.
Mm.
All right. Well, I'm gonna stay, believe it or not, and this is actually luck in the '90s. We're gonna go with a '93.
Mm.
They had a indie EP before this, so I'm gonna go with Earth versus the Wild Hearts. I discovered this band by accident when I went to see The Darkness in Montreal, and these guys were opening, and I came out of that show with being a Wild Hearts fan bigger than The Darkness. This one of those rare opening bands that actually changed my life, like, you know. And this is like I discovered them in 2004-ish, 2003, whenever The Darkness came out. So I went backwards because this was not popular at all in Canada. I don't know about US or New Zealand there, but this is, to me, I listened to this album as a whole, and it's great. I have it on CD, vinyl. I can't even name you a bad song on this here. Like I'm looking at this here, it's easily one of the, well, it's one of my favorites from the Wild Hearts there. But as a debut album here is like brilliant. It's just a rock. It's more like it's what hair metal could have been.
Mm.
That type of music here. It's not alternative or whatnot there. This is just great hooks. This is actually the product of, the rumor was, the Ginger Wildheart, which is this guy here, was in the London Choir Boys before their first album.
Mm.
So apparently he's like, the rumor was, you know, he fell down some stairs, and with a bottle of Jack Daniel, goes, if this bottle doesn't break, I'm gonna go and write the best album, some dumb story like that there. But he was like, he's a great riff and catchy song rock. Like the guy is considered brilliant. Like even Kevin, you should check out Ginger Wildheart and Courtney Love doing a duet, which is great. A great rock song. It's catchy.
Mhm.
He's a great catchy writer here. So I'm gonna go with Earth versus the Wildhearts, their official first album here. Great rock album, which came out in '93. Mind you, I discovered this like a decade later. So there you go.
Well,
I don't-
I don't think that they were popular here, but I do remember the name of the band, and I do remember that Ginger Wildheart name.
Yeah,
But I don't know that I know any of their songs, and I don't remember ever seeing any videos or anything like that. But I was aware of the name for some reason, so I'll have to look into them.
it's it's not the most original band name. I'll say that there, but
Right.
Canada, it was nothing. Like I said, I discovered these guys by accident. They happened to be an opening band for The Darkness, which I was going there to go see. And I came out of there loving, like, what the hell was that? That was like the best. Wild Hearts and Cheap Trick were the only times a opening band to me were better than the headliner. So
They're a bit like the Darkness, though, eh? They're kind of there's some similarities to the Darkness, wouldn't you say? Maybe not. I don't know. I don't know the Wild Hearts that well, but
the
they're
dark,
UK band, I guess.
the Wild Hearts are a
Maybe more alternative.
little bit, a little
Yeah.
like they're all over the place musically.
Yeah.
They went and did a Nine Inch Nails type album.
Mm.
I can't stand there. I think I told you about that one time there, and you, like you listen to that and you're like, you think your stereo is shot, but it's not. The Darkness I just don't find has evolved as well. But the Wild Hearts were just like, I don't know. I just every time you hear a new release, there's something fresh about it and different. There's one album, like I said, that Nine Inch Nails one I just can't stand there, but it is what it is.
Mm.
But I don't find them to be like the Darkness musically at all. A little bit more
Okay.
alternative, more catchy, more guitars. I don't know. It's just because they were both from the UK. I think that is why they
Right.
touring together, not because they were. I mean, they're a little.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard rock, like that first Darkness album. There, I just find the Darkness kind of haven't really evolved, or they just keep getting worse and worse. That's me there, but
Yeah. But the Wild Hearts, I think they were quite popular in the UK, though, eh?
Big time.
On that album.
big time.
Yeah, and on that album they did.
But
quite
that's
well, eh?
it.
Yeah,
Even the
just a-
second one too.
Mm.
But here, nothing. I was like, I keep telling people about this back then. I was like, the hell is that? Well, even when I saw them live, I was like, I don't even know who that was. So, but anyway, that first one, I went backwards and I was like, what the hell is this? Like, how come I never heard of this? And great rock, a slice of alternative maybe inside it there, but great hard rock album. So, and the guy can write hooks like you wouldn't believe.
Mhm.
So there you go. That's my second round one.
And Ginger, he's done lots of other bands and solo stuff as well. Eh? He's very
Big time.
prolific. Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
a very dysfunctional band, the Wild Hearts.
Mm.
They break up, they come back together. Now apparently they're writing new material again. I'll believe it when I see it there. Like every time they break up, I was like, I get mad for about a day or two, then I'll be fine. But so there you go. All right, round 3, Mr. Keith.
Well, I would have thought that my next choice was going to be knocked off pretty quick by Dan, and it's one that you've just mentioned.
Oh, I almost put it.
Yeah, Permission to
Right.
Land, the Darkness. So this is, like you say, it's a glam rock band, came out in 2003.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this before, me and Dan, about how like this was just such a breath of fresh air when it came out with the stuff that was around at the moment.
Yeah.
Quite dark sort of stuff, and this was just a straight up balls out rock album. So these guys were relatively unknown, young guys, Dan and Justin Hawkins, and just with their shows, and they brought back the glam, they brought back the fun
Yeah.
of rock. And I loved the videos for this. They were just really amusing, and just the way his voice went into the, I don't know if you call it a falsetto, but he went up and down with his voice, and it's just entertaining from back to front. And what's this? So even it was a popular release. This went 5 singles came from this album, and I believe in a thing called Love. That was I think that went to number 2 in the UK or something like that. Just really, I've got lots of memories of this because my wife and I, when we were going up the east coast of Australia in a camper van, we just played this one and another album over and over again. And so I really enjoyed listening to this. I even like the Christmas song. Hey, on your debut album, you put a Christmas song on. I mean, who
It's
does
not on
that?
the debut album though.
No,
Wasn't
it's
it?
not on it. No,
Oh,
no, it's not on the
Yeah,
album.
on that. It was released as a single,
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, it was released at the same time. Yeah,
but at the same
a good
time,
song.
yes.
yeah,
It's a good
Yeah.
song.
yeah.
I have it, yes.
So just a great album, and yeah, it's my last choice there.
I still
Oh, and
I
he's
still
on YouTube.
remember when I saw that video of "Get Your Hands Off My Woman" on TV, and I was
Yeah.
like, I was watching this. I'm like, and it's very grainy. Or like, is this a '70s band? Like, I'm like, how could I not know about this? And of course, you're like, oh, it's a new band. I completely like. He looks like a little bit like a mix of Freddie Mercury mixed with what's his guy, that Quiet Riot there, Kevin Dubrow there with his look. I was like, no, this has got to be an old band, and no, it was new. So yeah. Oh, I loved. That was a great choice, by the way.
I thought you were going to mention that straight off the bat. Actually,
I thought about it, but you'll see why the next one there, it'll make more sense there. But I did think about it. Let me put it that way.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Kevin.
All right, my last one is a band that everybody in New Orleans from probably 1983 till pretty much last week owns, and for many years, any car that was driving by with their radio blaring was blaring this band, Zebra. This is, they got a bad rap because someone wrote that they were Led Zeppelin clones, and I don't feel that they were. I think they were influenced by Led Zeppelin, but I thought they had their own thing going. And but this was, the hometown boys gone good or whatever, and everybody here loved them, and they got pretty popular for a while. But like I said, that review that they got saying that they were clones kind of hindered them, and they didn't get mega popular. But still, more people know about them than I expected to know, because whenever I show this to somebody, oh, I know that, I have that, or whatever. So Zebra. Big hits were like Tell Me What You Want, One More Chance, as I said before, Who's Behind the Door, When You Get There. I mean, just about everything on here was on the radio here anyway. There's only, I think, 9 songs, and I bet 7 of them get played on the radio still to this day in New Orleans.
I only know Who's Behind That Door, which I think is brilliant.
Yeah.
Love the how that.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, it's a great song.
And I've only seen them live once in my whole life, but they used to play here all the time. And people thought that they were from New York because they have a big following in Long Island, New York, for some reason. And so they go back and forth. But they were always, posters around town or whatever. Oh, Zebra's playing, this month, and then a month later they're playing again. And, but Randy Jackson, the singer, guitar player, he had done some like Led Zeppelin kind of stuff where shows that that's all he played was Led Zeppelin songs. So I guess he took that, oh, you're going to say I'm a clone? I'm gonna actually clone them, So, but great band. Only had 4 albums and a live album. And I think their first 3 albums were absolutely great. I think fourth album came out years later and it was a little weird, but always one of my favorites.
Good. I did not know they were from New Orleans. They were on a cassette I had as a kid, Metal Masters or Masters of Metal.
Oh,
They
really?
were on that.
Yeah, wow.
And I was like, okay, that's where I fell in love with that song. But yeah, love
you
that song.
Well, you definitely need to check out that whole album.
I will.
For sure.
I will. I promise.
I have 3 copies of it. 2 of them are scratched though.
There you go. All right, Mr. Steve, what do you got for the last one?
Yeah, last one. So I had to go with this one. It's a band I've talked about a fair bit on my channel, and it's Badlands. And so their debut album. Ray Gillen on vocals, Jakey Lee, of course, on guitar. He's just come from Ozzy Osbourne. Ray Gillen was at one time in Black Sabbath. Didn't officially record anything. He also had a tryout with Blue Murder. Amazing vocalist. Sounds fantastic. And of course, Jake, amazing on the guitar as well. They end up doing another album after this, which I don't think is quite as good. And then there's like another album also, which is kind of more demos that they were, that they'd recorded for a potential third album. But this is really the one to get. Dreams in the Dark, that was one of the singles. Awesome song. Winter's Call, fantastic. But yeah, everything's at least good. My favorite song is probably Devil Stomp, actually. It starts off slow and then just kicks in. Just really great stuff. It's produced by Paul O'Neill, who he Trans-Siberian Orchestra. He's the guy who set that all going, got that all going, and of course he's quite well known as being a producer and a songwriter for Sabotage when he hooks up with them. But they didn't get along. Paul O'Neill and Badlands, or maybe it was Paul O'Neill and Jakey Lee didn't get along very well, and I think he's out of the mix a lot for the second album. But yeah, anyway, just I've talked about this album heaps, but it is a great album. Very hard to get now because there's been obviously some issues there because of some of the actions of Ray, which we won't get into. But unfortunately, he passed away, and I think it was 93, something like that. So, but yeah, if you can find a copy and you haven't heard it, you should check it out.
It's easier to get than the second one. Big time.
True, on vinyl, yeah, true. Yeah,
Big time.
true. Yeah.
Is that original? Is that an original copy or is it a?
Oh yeah, because it's not been reissued on vinyl, so yeah.
Right.
So
Well, I know they're bootlegs.
Oh, possibly, yeah, but no, it's not
And
bootleg.
that third one sounds very good for demo quality.
Yeah, Dusk. Yeah,
It's almost
good.
like it sounds like the Kiss Carnival of Souls, like that good, but it's not unfinished, but almost finished,
Oh.
Yeah. I just think they probably hadn't quite decided maybe on necessarily what songs were going to go on the album. Here's some we're considering for the album. I think there's a bit of filler on. There's a few songs that probably they would have not put on the album if they'd had a bit more time. But it's the third one's good too. Yeah, I've got all 3 of the albums. They're great, and just a shame it didn't work out. And then Jakey Lee kind of disappears really after that for quite some time, which is just, you think about the 90s and all the albums he could have maybe put out, but
him and Ray Gillen didn't get along, I believe, at near the end.
No, they didn't.
If you don't know about look up on the history guy or anybody out there watching.
I know the story.
The Badlands and it's wow.
I have the second one, Voodoo Highway, on a CD, and the only time I've ever seen the original, well, not even seen it. The only copy I've had is a cassette that I recorded off the radio because they used to have a show that was called Album Hour, and they would play the first side of an album, go to commercial, play the second side. So I used to just copy everything, and I'd never seen the original in a store ever.
Really?
Yeah.
It,
So
it was a minor hit here in Canada.
I mean, it was popular. I think there was even a hit song on the radio, but I just never saw it. And then, years later, when I decided I would go try to find it, it was out of print, and you can't get it anymore. With all the stuff, and
It's expensive right now to
yeah,
get.
yeah.
I have the Voodoo Highway on CD, but even that's hard to find here,
Yeah.
even on CD. Yeah.
I have the 3 on CD, but I have the first one on vinyl. It's pricey, yeah.
Yeah, Rock Candy did reissue the Badlands album on CD, but then they were told they had to stop it or something because there was these issues, legal issues or whatever with Ray and stuff.
All right, well, good choice. I like that album. Don't love it, but I like it a lot. So I'm gonna go with my last one here. It's gonna be a toss-up, but I'm gonna go with this one here. Holy Diver. There's not a bad song on this. Even the deep cuts are great. Dio sounds great on this. Believe it or not, one of my least favorites is the song Holy Diver.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Don't Talk to Strangers, Shame on the Night, Rainbow in the Dark, Invisible was great. Gypsy, remember that one, Steve?
Yeah.
I don't know. There's great album cover. I'm a little like Holy Diver, the song itself. I'm a little tired of hearing it there, but I've listened to this so much. I decided to go with this one as my perfect album. I'm not gonna say what I would have picked as my fourth one or the tie there, but yeah, this one is just like. I still remember the day when I first saw the Holy Diver video. I was like, "Well, that's cool," and but I personally find that the album is even better than the song Holy Diver itself. There, so yeah, love this album to death here. So there you go, Dio Holy Diver for me, and there you go.
That's the only album I own by them. And I recently just got it on CD, not too long ago. I don't know why. I just never ended up having any of their albums for some reason.
Yeah, I have all the Dio ones. I'm a huge Dio fan there, but yeah, as a first album there, it's great. Even the second one is as good.
Yeah. Second one. I mean, even the third and the fourth one, it's well, the fourth one in particular is actually becoming a bit more of a favorite of mine too. Craig Goldie comes in on guitar for that one, but it's pretty good too. I think maybe for me, probably it goes. My favorite's the first one. Second's my second favorite, and then Dream Evil will be third, and then Sacred Heart probably fourth. But yeah, that first four though, great stuff. Yeah.
Well, I like what I've heard. I just don't own much of it for some reason.
If you like that first one, The Last in Line, which is the second one, is almost an exact copy of that first one.
Oh, really?
But to me, the song The Last in Line is better than Holy Diver.
Didn't they have one like Lock Up the Wolves or something?
That's album number 5.
Okay. I remember that
I
one.
love.
Which Dan likes.
Love that album.
I remember when that came out, I tried to order it from like BMG or Columbia House, whatever one of, and it was like the only time that they ever sent me a thing back saying this record is out of stock or whatever, and we won't be getting it again. I was like, oh, so I would have had that one back then, but never did get it.
If ever you get Lock Up the Wolves, it's better to get the CD version than the vinyl or the cassette, because there's a bonus track on the CD.
Oh, really?
Song wise, it's more worthwhile there. And it's actually a great song too, believe it or not.
Steve,
Steve
Oh,
doesn't
it just
like
annoys.
the Wolves, I
It
guess.
annoys me when they did that, and you know,
Yeah.
I'm looking at. Do you know how Dan? We've been talking about 12-inch singles, or maxi singles. That's one I want to add to my collection, because you can get that song on vinyl. It's a B side to one of the
Oh, I did not
yeah,
know that.
yeah, it's a B side on one of the, but it's quite kind of pricey, but yeah,
Right.
you can get it. Yeah.
I would rate Dream Evil probably better than Last in Line. That's just my opinion. But
lot
I've got Holy Diver, and then I bought Holy Diver Live, and I had to stop myself because they brought out a remix of Holy Diver again. So I thought I'm not going to buy it the third time, and I thought no, too much. I'm out. Yeah.
Dream Evil is loved. It's like a cult favorite by a lot of people, I find,
Mhm.
but it didn't do as much, I guess.
No.
But okay, does if it
I think
if
when
it
it
was,
first came out, it wasn't. Yeah.
like, I think it's good. I find it's like a typical rock album. That's what I like about
Mm.
that one. It was my first ever Dio album, but it's not my favorite at all. Like, but that's just me there. I just find it to be a typical hard rock metal album, while Holy Diver and Luck of the Wolves and Last in Line, there's some magicalness to it. But that's
I'm
me.
even listening to Killing the Dragon, and I'm enjoying that a lot.
That is great. I love that
Yeah,
one.
I like that.
It was a
yeah.
great comeback.
Mm.
That's the tour where I saw and then met him.
Yeah. Oh, really? Yeah.
Very
Even the
proud
title
for
song. The title song's brilliant.
Yeah, it's a great one there.
And Dan's in a DEO DVD, aren't you, Dan?
Yes.
You're on. Yeah.
Evil or Divine
Yeah.
is the DVD, and there's a menu which is Dio and Friends. So you were able to send out your picture. So there's me and Dio. Even and like I'm 3-page. Mitch Lafon and Dio is also there in that menu. So I was like, oh my God, I know that guy. So anyway, my little claim to fame there. So there you go. Those are, I guess, our top albums, our top debut albums here. Now, before we go, I need to make a little draw for an album or a contest that I was doing on my channel a few episodes ago. So I will do this live. These are going to be my witnesses here. So I'll put the names in this little Captain Marvel bucket that I have here. I'm very low tech here, by the way, and off the charts. So the first one here will be Black Belgian Dog. That's one. I shall do this like that. Mark St. Pierre 4410. There's 9 entries, or 8 entries. It's not going to be long, guys. Darren Michael Boyd. Sivo or Givo 2112. Those are the guys, obviously, their YouTube channel. Oh, look, Attack from Down Under.
What does the winner get? I forgot.
The Beatles. I got it right there. I'll take it out there. And speaking of, Sonic Boom TV.
I don't know who that is.
Some bozo I know there. Jay Jesmer. And last one, Stefan Zimmer. All right, so I will mix it up. I'm going to pick one right here. Let's see which one it is here. So I got one. And the winner is...
Uh-oh.
Sonic Boom.
No way.
Oh yeah.
Hey.
They're going to say it's rigged.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, last time I did a draw, there was one comment saying it was fucking rigged by this guy that just won. So,
Well, you won my contest. So...
yes, I know. And I should have kept your address because I put him in the recycling bin. All right, Sonic Boom TV, you have now won a Beatles Now and Then maxi single.
Oh,
So there you go. I will
Well, there you go.
get your information there soon there. So thanks you for all participating there. So I guess I'm going to be doing one soon there when I'm closing in on 500 there. So
Cool.
there you go. Anyway, on that note, anything you guys want to add? We're all
we did
good?
this again.
All right. Well, I would like to thank my friend Steve from New Zealand, Keith from are also from New Zealand, Steve from Rock and Metal Invasion, Keith from Attack from Down Under, New Zealand, and of course our winner, or I guess he's going to be right there, Kevin.
Over here, there,
US.
somewhere.
He's either there or there. So Kevin from the US and Sonic Boom TV. Check out their channels, and thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys next episode. Take care. Ciao.